Hello friends, welcome back to our channel, where we explore the top stories in folklore, mythology and more. Well, tonight we will convey to you a terrifying story from the depths of rural India. It's a story that'll have you wondering what the inky blackness might be lurking just outside your door. Now, what if I tell you something spooky is there, hidden in the contours of an old Indian legend? It's a ghost who knocks on your door, a ghost who speaks to you in a familiar voice. And if you do, you never come back. These are the infamous tales of Nale Ba, a name that still frightens the hearts of many, a name whispered in fear, a name that might be invoking your name tonight. Nale Ba is a very disturbing folktale that comes from the southern states of India, especially Karnataka. The myth was born out of a string of mysterious disappearances in the mid-1990s. Witnesses described a twinkling spectre, a woman in bridal red, her face shrouded under an unsettling light. She had been nicknamed the Bride of Death, a vengeful spirit that roamed the streets at nighttime, looking for her next target. But what made her presence truly scary was her knock. She would come at midnight, quietly knocking on doors, her voice hauntingly familiar. People who lived through the terror said, unlike a conventional ghost, she did not wail or screech. Number: she wrote in the voice of a loved one, calling softly, urging you to tell all. And lest you doubt her, lest you so much as unlatch the door, she would take you forever. The villagers recalled terrifying nights of desperate pleas piercing the darkness. A man named Ravi was the first to disappear. His neighbor heard the knocking but paused, a flood of eerie discomfort crawling into his bones. The next morning, Ravi's home had been deserted. There was a heaviness, an unnatural stillness in the air inside. Nobody, no signs of struggle, no blood, just gone. And then there were more. Husbands, wives, children. Each disappearance takes the same sinister turn. A knock, a voice, and then nothing. The village was in a panic, and to protect themselves against the spirit, the townspeople came up with an idea. In red chalk, they scrawled one phrase across their doors: Nale Ba, Canada for come tomorrow. Some unexplained force seemed to control the spirit, making the spirit fulfill the message. She would spot it, stop, and continue, but the safety was temporary. Each night became a contest of wills, an endurance contest between the living and the dead. But who was she? Where had she come from? Others say she was a woman scorned, left at the altar, her heart infected with grief so potent it bound her soul to the living realm. Some say she was a witch, who was cursed for meddling with forbidden magic, destined to wander eternally, a spectre seeking revenge. But the strangest theory of all, that she was never human to begin with, a demon, a predator, a useless alibi of soul in shameless shame, and all she wanted was for an open door. That legend never quite went away. Even now she is whispered about by locals in Bangalore. Security guards have sworn they've seen a woman hovering outside locked gates, a cold, unnatural presence. A 2017, a guard described hearing his mother calling him from beyond the iron bars. He wouldn't open the gate, but come morning, his dog was found dead, eyes wide with terror, fur standing on end. And in 2020, a figure in the dark was caught on CCTV outside a suburban home precisely at 3 a.m. The next day, the family was gone, their house eerily silent. Some think she's getting better, that a phrase scrawled on a door no longer intimidates her, that she is learning, adapting. And what if, just what if, she knocks on your door tonight? Will you resist, or will your curiosity be the death of you? Skeptics dismiss it as paranoia, a brain contraption driven by dread of the unknown. Scientists say it's nothing but sleep paralysis, just an illusion brought on by an overactive imagination. But what if it isn't? An example is Meera, an emerging journalist with it in for the legend. She kept her door propped open at midnight, her camera running. Hours passed, nothing. Then a faint knock, another. Her name floated across the silence. Meera faltered, her breath catching. She paused above the doorknob. The camera flickered. Static filled the screen. The next morning, Meera was missing. Her phone was crumpled on the floor, its screen broken. A single recording remained. A voice, husky, haunting, unmistakably female. Nale Ba. Her family does not speak of her disappearance, but her neighbors, they remember. They still hear the knocking. Fear is contagious. Nale Ba's whispers have crossed Karnataka, creeping into other states, seeping through the cracks of the internet. People around the world report hearing knock at midnight, and some wake to find Nale Ba scrawled on their walls in shaking handwriting. Some claim to see dark figures at their windows, watching, waiting. Sanjay, a well-known skeptic, dismissed the legend as an elaborate hoax. He performed a ritual to demonstrate his point, he explained. It is not on air. Standing in front of a mirror, he murmurs, Nale Ba. The next day he was gone, his apartment locked from the inside, no forced entry, no trace of him, but his mirror remained, and in it his reflection held, eyes turned to ice with fear. Is it all just hysteria, a shared delusion? Or has the spirit managed to get through the barricades that are supposed to keep her out, no longer waiting for an invitation, but figuring out how to let herself in? One especially chilling case emerged in 2022, watching the knocker. A family in a remote village endured pounding for 7 nights. Every evening, they wrote Nale Ba on their door in chalk. Night after night, the knocking got louder. It was the 7th night, and their youngest daughter vanished. The parents insisted that they would never have opened the door, but their neighbors said they heard a whispering, soft voice travel through the walls. It's me, let me in. People describe waking up to shifting shadows, an unquiet presence in their bedrooms, a breath of the air, a voice, steady, repeating, Nale Ba. And now the story has crossed the borders of India, no longer an unspoken warning in a sleepy village, but a name passed around the internet, born on the wings of stories and fears. Others think that just hearing her name draws her in, that she sings in the very words we say, the stories we tell. So as you listen now, take stock of where you are. Is your door locked? Are your windows shut tight? Listen carefully. Do you hear it? A ghostly knock in the middle of the night? And when you go to bed, keep this in mind. If you hear knocking past midnight, do not open the door. You can't include the peephole. Do not speak. Just whisper, Nale Ba, and hope she passes you by. And that's the tale of Nale Ba, a story that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Remember, if you hear the knocking sound at your door, don't answer it. It might just be Nale Ba, come to claim her next victim. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification, and send it to someone stupid enough to listen alone. Because remember, legends never die. They just lie in wait for their next target.